Hello, and welcome to day 9 of learning backend development with chatgpt. So let's get started. So in the last lesson, we just looked at integrating Express with MongoDB. So let's see what's in store for day 9's lesson. Okay, so user authentication. Introducing authentication. JWT, JSON Web Token. Okay, so please give me day 9's lesson. Here we go. Hashing passwords, etc. So day 9, user authentication. So authentication is the process of verifying who a user is, e.g. using the username and password. Authorization determines what an authenticated user is allowed to access, viewing and seeing specific resources. So for example, in this, my social media app I'm currently working on, it can only access like the main pages once the user is logged in. Otherwise, it automatically reroutes the user to the login page. So, example, think of logging into an email service. Authentication confirms you are an account owner by entering a valid username and password. Authorization controls what actions you can perform, like reading, sending, or deleting emails based on permissions. So, authentication ensures access control, preventing unauthorized users from accessing sensitive data. Authorization applies additional layers, ensuring users have permissions to access or modify specific resources. So 2, implement basic authentication, so username and password. So what's obvious? So basic authentication requires a username and password for the user to log in. In this implementation, you create a registration route to store user credentials and a login route to verify them. Okay, so we can have a user model, so a schema, to store username and password in MongoDB using Mongoose. So if the user schema new mongoose.schema username string and password string. Then we're creating a user with the user called user with the user schema, and then the registration. So in the post register, so we're posting data database. We pass in our function with the request and result with the username and password. Is the request body, and then we make a new user with username and password, and then we save and set the JSON as successful or unsuccessful. So yeah, we're creating a new user with a user schema. So we're matching user schema to user. Okay, then we can hash passwords with bcrypt. So for security, passwords should be stored as hashes rather than plain text. Bcrypt is a popular library that hashes passwords, making them secure against attacks. So install bcrypt, npm install bcrypt, use bcrypt to hash passwords, update the registration route to hash the password before saving it. And then we can do const bcrypt equals require bcrypt, then app.post register. So we're going to post data because we're going to set up the password. So const salt rounds equals 10. It's actually not salt. So salt rounds adds additional complexity to hashing, making it harder for attackers to crack. Each hash password is unique even for users with identical passwords due to the addition of salt. Okay, hash password equals bcrypt.hash, and then we pass in the password and salt rounds, and then user equals user username password, and we save these, and then we set the JSON of this register type accordingly. So then we can do JWT. So JWT web token allows stateless authentication, meaning user sessions do not rely on server-side sessions. Instead, token is issued upon login and sent with each request to validate the user's identity. So we can install JSON web token, and we can create a login. So route to authenticate the user and generate a JWT token. So we get our username and password from the request's body, and then we have our user. We're finding the one where we have the username as that specific username. Then if we don't find that username, we're setting the status accordingly, and we're finding if the password is valid by doing bcrypt.compare password and user password. Then if not, we set an coding error. Then we can do token equals jwt.sign user ID. We can pass in the user's ID and secret key, and so it expires in every hour. Okay, and then we can create a middleware to verify JWT tokens on protected routes. So authenticate token. So with our middleware, we have the rec, res, and next. Like this is called ran everyone, so we just call the next after. So we have the token as the header's authorization, and if we can't find the token, we set the error accordingly. Otherwise, we just verify the token with our token, which we get from the request and the secret key, and we pass in the function error and user. So if there's an error, we just set that accordingly, and if there's not, we do request or user equals user, and then next, and then we get the protected. So we set it as 200 and .json. So authenticate token will be the middleware that is passed. So jwt.sign peddler secret options generates a token that includes user data like user ID and expires after a period. So jwt.verify token secret callback decodes and verifies the token to ensure the request is authentic. Okay, so the extra challenge. So extend middleware to allow role-based access control, define roles. Okay, so I'm just going to go to this. So I suppose we could just so we go back to our user schema. We could copy this. So instead of user, we could also have a admin schema, and then we can model admin, and then with the admin schema, then we'll be able to handle these, like where we use this user. So for example, user equals user.find1 of username. Yeah, so we can just replace this with our admin like class basically. So this lesson covers authentication and authorization, hashing passwords, bcrypt, and securing rooted JWT, providing a foundational understanding of secure user authentication in backend applications. By the end, you'll have hands-on experience with bcrypt and JWT, critical for building secure web applications. Yeah, so that's all for today's lesson, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.